Hello and welcome back to Music Monday with Johnny Tiger. The date is August 10, 2020. And today we are going to do us a little bit of karaoke. 不小心打翻我的玻璃瓶，你从来没有这样多情意。花渐渐躺在桌上，水轻轻流向四方，想着要做什么，我们竟就这样隔上了对方。这些话伤不了我的你，也不是拖延，也不是着急，从不说向哪里去，也不曾向哪里去，究竟是我们竟就这样离开了距离。每次醒来都怕你不在，我每次都想挣脱你。醒来，我终于知道生命里面总有个人可以去爱不离来。每次醒来都怕你不在，我每次都想挣脱你。醒来，可是我知道当你终于将我抛开，我会在原地徘徊。Not bad, huh? Well, at least I hope so. You know, that was a song by Andy Lau, and was it came out in the mid '90s or early '90s, as far as I can remember. Now, I used to be very very good at singing Andy Lau's songs because he was within my range. But this song was one of those songs that I would never try to tackle for a very simple reason, and that is what we are going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the use of falsato. What is falsato? Simply put, it is fake voice. Although when we say fake, there is a insinuation of negativity that I don't like. But let's just say falsato. It's a voice that is not your natural voice. Um, as you heard me go in the end with that song, no, that is falsato because that is not the voice that I speak with. That is not my natural voice. And that was the reason why I was so comfortable doing that song for the longest time, because my falsetto, honestly, and even to this day, I still don't think it sounds that good. But back then, when I first started singing, my falsetto sounded absolutely ridiculous. It would come across as ha, like that, and it just sounded really weird. So I guess for most ladies, for most females, falsetto is not really an issue because your voice are naturally higher. So that transition between your natural voice and your falsetto is less noticeable, unless you sound like Anne Murray, then it can be problematic. But uh, for most female singers, falsetto is not really an issue because if you sound good with your natural voice, most likely you can sound good with your falsetto as well. But for male singers, it is quite often very challenging to do passable falsetto without embarrassing the heck out of ourselves. The key to start getting a grip on your falsetto for both men and women, is to ease up on the power, to let it flow out of you naturally. Open up your mouth, raise your head, open up your airway, and just let it come out. Of course, with a microphone, it will sound a little bit better. If I can get the microphone to work. Yeah, there we go. So as you can tell, with the transition between natural voice to the false voice, even with the experience and technique I have today, it's still very challenging, and it's not something that I'm comfortable doing all the time. But I'm a lot better than I used to be. And really, the key is to really put a brake on your power, really put a brake on any force, and let it come out nice and light. Your falsetto, at least in this beginner stage, unless you are trying to be some kind of opera singer, that's completely different. Then you need proper training for that. But without proper opera training, in the beginning stage, you want it to be as light as a feather when it's come out. Otherwise, it's going to sound off key, and the tone is going to be wrong, or you're going to sound and totally weird like that. Now, some people may say that why didn't I sing that song not using falsetto? Just because the original singer did, that doesn't mean that I had to. Well, let me give you guys a sample of what it would sound like if I didn't use falsetto for that song. It would sound really wrong.不小心打翻我的玻璃瓶，你从来没有这样多歉意，花渐渐躺在桌上，水静静流向四方，想着要做什么，我们竟就这样隔上了对方。最喜欢上不了我的你，也不是拖延，也不是着急。As you can see, without that kind of falsetto in there, this song just not going to work. It sounds really harsh. It doesn't carry that romantic undertone, that softfulness, that feeling of contemplation, which you totally need for this song. Because this is a song about a guy who is thinking about his loved one, thinking about all the ins and outs, all the ups and downs of their relationship, and wondering if he misses her and he wants to wake up beside her, but when he's with her, he wants to be away from her. He's a guy who's trying to sort things out in his mind. So you need that really feather-like touch that a song like this requires. Otherwise, it will sound kind of ridiculous. Um, so I'm not going to ramble on and on today because it's getting late, and I think if I keep this up, upstairs neighbor is going to start yelling at me and complaining. So anyway, I hope you guys at least get a little idea of how to start playing with falsetto. Just keep in mind when you go from ah to ah, ah, you want to keep it light. You don't want to go ah and ah. Yeah, see that just sounded really weird. Okay, you want to really pull back on that power and have fun. And when you do your falsetto, another thing that before I forget, it's important to fade it out. More important than your regular notes, than your regular voice. So just like how you fade out your regular note, ah, ah, okay, that you got to fade it out, and you'll notice that falsetto, again, for men, it's a lot harder than women. It's a lot harder to have that kind of good control over it because for men, our natural voice is a dominant voice, and when we go falsetto, sometimes we let too much air out too fast, and that is really the biggest killer of your falsetto is when you let too much air escape your chest and you run out of breath halfway. Okay, so anyway, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I'm going to finish the song. Thank you for checking out today's Music Monday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Tactical Tuesday, where I actually do know what I'm talking about.
只是我伤不了我你，也不是拖延，也不是着急，从不说向哪里去，也不知向哪里去。